Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. Thank you very much for attending another webinar about TagoIO. Thank you very much for your time. Today, we'll be covering our new release called TagoRUN. So we're going to spend around 45 minutes explaining for you how TagoIO works so that you can start work with TagoRUN right away. I am Fabio Rosa. I am the CEO and founder of TagoIO cloud platform located here in Raleigh, North Carolina. And also we are going to have Matheus, our software developer, doing a presentation here today, a demo. He will be covering most of the items here today in the agenda. We will be recording this session right now so that it can be watched later under on demand. Also, you should have find the chat and the Q&A session in your screen. So feel free to make any question or comments anytime. I'll do my best here to answer in real time. If not possible, for sure, we're going to be covering the questions at the end. So here is the agenda for today. We are going to be talking about a quick overview about Tago, just to make sure we explain again the concept of Tago just a couple of minutes. Then I'm going to be introducing TagoRUN, what's the purpose of TagoRUN, how this works, very high level. And then Matheus is going to be running a demo in one real account in real time. And I'm going to be present each of the model that is part of TagoRUN. They will be the access management, user management, and the run white label. So first, just put in a high level that TagoIO is the cloud platform to connect all your devices. It's composed by several components that goes beyond the dashboard. So you can have the visual part, but also can have intelligence, data storage, and so on. And there are a big number of devices that you can connect to Tago, including external database, external web services, or your own devices as well. Here you can see the key components that part of TagoIO. Okay, so if you look from the left to the right, you can see that you have the devices that you want to connect so that you can bring the information to the company, to the users, to people. Okay, so from the left to the right, we have basically 5 parts of TagoIO. The first one is the device management. You can create authorization, you can grant access, you can activate the device, deactivate, and create parts for the device. Everything done under the device management. Also, we have the new part that is called user management that we're going to be covering here today, where you can see your users, logging your application, and so on. The second part is the data storage. So when the device is granted access to your account, the data is immediately stored in your account, what you call data buckets. The data will be there, so you can keep the data there, you can remove, you can download the data, and from there you can also create analytics on top of that. So we have a session called analysis where you are able to add a code. In our case, you can run in JavaScript, or if you have your own server, you can run in any language like C or Java or Python and so on. So you can process the data. So for example, you can make it just a simple conversion of variables, or you can run machine learning, and you can get information about the weather, things like that. So you can really use our analysis to scale up your application as well. Then, of course, you have the visualization, basically composed by the dashboards, where you can add widgets and build your application using charts, displays, maps, videos, and so on. And these visualizations will show up in the browser. We support basically all the browsers. And you can also visualize your data in the mobile app. And the last part is the notification. So today we have a area called action. In this session, you are able to define what kind of a notification you want. You can send SMS, you can send email, a push notification for your users, and so on. And also combine the action with the analysis. You can integrate it for the system. So that's really very powerful because it's really go beyond the visualization. You can integrate with additional services inside of our company or external. So using Tago, you can come from the concept and going beyond and deploy your solution to several users and the dashboards and the devices. So the number can be very high. So if you look at this picture, you can see what I just mentioned before, that part of the TagoIO. So you have all this component in your account. So when you create an account, you have access to this. So that's basically the screen that you see as a developer, or also with a supervisor, someone that is taking care of the application. So you can see here you have access to device management, storage, run analytics, add the notifications, and prepare for the integration. So the left side basically are the items that the developer uses day by day. In the right side now, we have what we call the TagoRUN. Okay, TagoRUN is composed basically by three elements, and these elements are prepared mainly for your user. So you should be able to use the TagoRUN to grant access to the user of your application. For example, if you are developing application for asset tracking, you may have, for example, 10 customers, and these 10 customers may have 100 users each one. So you talk about 1,000 users at the end of the day. So you can define here the policies that you call, that's basically rules, to define who is going to access what. That's done under the TagoRUN model. Then you have the user management, where you see that every time a user sign up, you can get his information and grant access automatically, or define which information he will be able to see. And the last one is the model called Run, that is basically where you create your white label application. So that's the part that you'll be able to get your logo, your colors, and so on. So in a summary, looking for this page here, the left side are the components specific for developer, and the right side is the models that help you to deploy the solution for your customer. So basically, we are getting easier to deploy and also to maintain your application, to run your application. So at the end of the day, for example, your customers would be able to see application like that with your logo, your URL, also with the mobile app and the colors, and of course, the dashboards that you allow them to use. So basically, that's the part that we'll be covering today. So Matheus, you're going now with a demo and present to you how to build your first application with TagoRUN. Before we start here, just a reminder that you all can create an account, a free account. There is no trial period. That's open forever. So you can add up to 5 devices, create up to 5 dashboards right away. Also, you can try the TagoRUN sessions that we are going to show here. Just to make sure that when you create your account, you check that box, I am a developer, because that is the solution that we need to use for you to access all the tools inside of the TagoIO. Okay, so now let's move for the demo. Matheus, can you go ahead?
Yes, thank you, Fabio. I'm going to share my screen here, just a second. Okay, hello everybody, my name is Matheus. I'm one of the front-end developers here at TagoIO. And today we're going to be showcasing a little bit of our new platform. Specifically, we're going to be showcasing these 3 buttons here. So the first button is the Run. The Run platform basically offers a solution for you to create your custom website, So you define the logo, you define the colors, all these customizations and the theme, so you can deploy your solutions to your users. Your users, in this case, would be in this button right here. So whenever you create a run and your users sign up, they will appear in this button here, the users button. Then, when you create your run and you have your users, you can define and differentiate exactly what some users will see and what some users won't. So let's say you're creating a solution and you want to make sure that the regional manager sees a dashboard, but the local user doesn't. You would use the Access platform to make this logic. So all the logic about visualization of the solutions and dashboard would be located here on the Access button. We just to put some context here on the table. Today we're going to be simulating that we are an asset tracking company. So we handle everything from to the very start up until the delivery of the asset. So this is just so we get some context here, so you guys really understand of what we're trying to achieve today. So we're not going to be covering building the solution. We're going to assume today that you already built your solution and you are only trying to deploy it. And we're going to really get some details just to make sure you guys understand everything. So here in my left side, I mentioned that we're going to see these three features here. But starting from the dashboards, we have two main dashboards here. So since we are an asset tracking company, we have a dashboard that is specific to the regional manager. So the manager of this specific region would see this information when he accesses this dashboard. So let's say I am a regional manager and I just entered this dashboard. This is the information that I would see. We have three main delivery centers here, delivery trucks, one in Asheville, the second in Raleigh, and the third one in Charlottesville. You can see that the colors of the trucks differ a little bit. The trucks that have a green color are trucks that are on time. So they are making their delivery exactly on time and they will arrive on time. But the trucks that are red, in this case there's only one, they will be late to make their delivery. So they need to catch up a little bit faster. So the regional manager, upon entering the screen, can see the location of the trucks, but also he can get a glimpse on the right side here in a more condensed way. So if he just wants to get in the dashboard and quickly see how the flow of the company is going, he can just see in the table here, we have one row for each truck. So there's Raleigh, Asheville, and Charlottesville. And we have the delivery status. In this case, delivery status that are red are late and green are on time. We also have the temperature of the truck. In this case, it's on Fahrenheit. And on the bottom here, we have the average delivery time of each truck. In this case, it's 47 minutes. So this is what the regional manager would see. Let's now check out what the local user would see. In this scenario, a local user would be someone that has hired our services. So let's say I have a store, right? And I want to receive deliveries. This is my dashboard, which means that this is the information that I would visualize to understand if my delivery is on time or if my delivery will be arriving soon and other information like that. So let's say I have a store here in this location where the house is. I can see exactly where the truck is over here in the green pin. So I can see exactly how long the truck will take because I can understand that the truck is arriving soon because the location is very near. I can also see the temperature of the truck and also the humidity of the truck. In the bottom here, I can also see the delivery status. This is good because you can just enter on the dashboard and really quickly see that the delivery is on time and you have nothing to worry about. So these are the two main scenarios that we're going to be building upon here in our demonstration, okay? Keep in mind, guys, if you have any questions throughout the presentation, just as Fabio said, you can ask in the chat. So there's really no need to be silent if you have any questions. So now that, let's say you have built your solution, there are two main ways for you to share the solution with your customers. The first way, it's the oldest way, and more simple, is using shares. So I'm going to share this dashboard, local user here, by clicking on this button, share dashboard. And sharing dashboard, you basically specify an email or a public link. So if you want to share privately with someone, you can specify the link. But if you want to share with a lot of people, you can build a public link and then share this link with everybody. So as you can see here, we have two options, as I just described. We have a private share and a public share. Now, this is a good way of sharing your application, but there is an even better way, which is utilizing our RUN platform. RUN is basically a way for you to build your solutions with full customization. So I'm just going to press the Run button here. And upon entering the screen, you will see this big preview here. And there is some information here on the bottom as well, but don't worry. So I'm gonna really explain to you guys how everything works around here. So this is the main preview, and this is a very accurate representation of what someone, a user in this case, would see upon entering your run. You will notice that the layout is very similar to our admin platform, but the customization is pretty much limitless. So this is my preview, and it gets updated in real time. So I'm sure you guys noticed here the fields on the bottom. We're gonna make some modifications to really engage customers with our brand. So here on the title, by default, it shows TagoIO's app, which is the name of my account, and then the app. So I'm just gonna remove this and set the name as asset tracking. And there you go. Keep in mind, guys, if you're feeling a little lost throughout the customization of your RUN platform, don't worry. There are some fields here that can help you. These little eyes, these little icons here. In this case, this icon shows that this is the title of the browser tab, which is true. This is the browser's title. So it would be the title that goes up here. In this case, it will replace the run in your platform. So I'm just going to specify the title as asset tracking. I'm going to skip the subtitle. The subtitle, as it shows here on the icon, is a little text that goes right here into the right side of the logo. But for this presentation, there is really no need to inform this, so I'm just going to skip it. The favicon, I'm also going to skip it here. Now we can specify the logo. As you guys must have seen here, we have the TagoRUN logo here on our preview. And this is very nice, but as a developer and someone who wants to engage customers with the brand, it's not ideal, right? So here you can specify a custom, a link, which would replace this logo with a custom one. Now, you can get this link from anywhere, from Google, any place that you want, but we strongly encourage you to use our file system here. So I'm just going to open this link in a new tab here, this files. And using files is good because all this information that you get on the web can quickly get removed. So if you just, for example, not your logo, but if you want to get a background image for your run, and if you get it on Google, there's a very high chance that someday this image will get lost or will get deleted. But if you use our file system, it's guaranteed to stay in place, and the URL will never change. So your file is safe and sound here on this page. Just before the presentation, I already uploaded some files here. So I'm just gonna get the link from my logo, select the file, copy URL. Great. I'm just gonna head over back to my run and paste the URL here. And there you go. Now you can see here, there's a custom logo, which looks a lot better than just the TagoRUN logo because it's your brand, right? This is the main information. It's a very easy customization. So I'm just going to skip to the next steps. We have the main configuration, as I just told you guys, but we also have the domain. I'm not sure if you guys can see here on the preview, but there is also on the bottom a link. This is the link for your TagoRUN. Now, this link is not ideal because, well, it's not easily understandable, right? But don't worry, you can change it very easily, in fact. So in this scenario, I'm going to set the name as Acme. And as you can see in the preview here in the left side, where my mouse is, we have the name of our run that we specified earlier, asset tracking, and we also have the URL, which we just specified here. By default, it comes with the domain .run.tago.io, but you can customize this domain by contacting us. So you can put something like portal.mycompany.com if you really want to get that engagement with your customers. And here on the right side, we also have the email domain. By default, the email domain gets, it basically is everything that we set as the URL. So for example, I set Acme as the URL. So my email domain would be acme.run.tago.io. If I set something else here, the email domain would act appropriately and would change. And this email domain is used, for example, when somebody signs up to use your run, he or she will receive an email from this address. Okay, so this is really important. Again, it's your brand. Now comes the real cool part, which is the customization of your run platform. Of course, we customized before a little bit the logo, we customized the text, but here we customize the colors. And this is awesome because it really identifies, it distinguishes your application from other applications. So here, I could set anything in this color here. For example, I'm just dragging my mouse here, and you can see in the preview, it gets updated in real time, which is pretty cool. I'm not going to get too fancy here. I'm just going to set the color a little toned down, just a tiny bit, just so we get some difference. Keep in mind, if you don't like your colors or if you messed up the customization, you can always press here, reset these colors, and just get back to the default. So it's there's no chance for you to mess up and don't repair it. Okay. This is the navigation bar, but we also have a section for each part of the run application. As you can see over here, I pressed sign up page, and this is a really important page because this is the welcome center for your application. Think of it like this. Whenever somebody will access your run, the first screen that they will see is the sign up page, right? Because they need to sign up to use your application. So this is really important. We divided the sign up page in two main categories. The first one is the page configuration over here where my mouse is. So the page configuration basically handles everything that is logic from your sign up page. As you can see, we have a preview here, and down here we have the sign up fields. You can customize all the fields of your sign up page, just like a Google Forms. So let's say you want to set a new field here for the user to inform. You can just set the name of the field, the placeholder, which is the text that goes inside of the field. And then we select the type of the field, which can either be a number or a text. Okay. For the sake of demonstration here, I'm just going to set a new field. Let's say I'm going to put age, which will be a number. Of course, normally you would set a date here, but for the sake of this demonstration again, I'm just going to set age here, right? Down here, it's a very, very important part because down here we can set the method of signing up in our application. We have three main ways, which is anyone, which means that anybody can access your run here and sign up to use your application. But we can also specify a confirmation required, which means that the user can sign up, but only you, the administrator, can allow or deny this registration. And then you can disable the sign up altogether by clicking disabled here. Keep in mind, you as the administrator can still sign up users to use your application, but they by themselves cannot sign up. Okay. Now let's customize our sign up page a little bit. I said that this is the main logic center. So here we're going to set the theme of our sign up page. So just by entering the theme here, we have the colors, right? But the cool thing is we can specify a background image, and this really ties everything together. It really gives a glow to your application. I already customized it. So if I just press image here, it's gonna load my image from the files that I uploaded earlier. So just by selecting image here and specifying your own image, you will see that the application looks a whole lot different because again, you're customizing. So it's not just a blank sign up page. You can also set the form opacity here, this little white square in the preview. For example, I'm just going to decrease a little bit, and you can see it's pretty much transparent. But I'm just going to leave it on the middle, which is a good opacity, good opacity level for us here. Okay, now moving on here to the sidebar. This is also a really important center, a really important part of the application because we can customize the buttons that will be shown inside of the application once the user already signed up. By default, we offer this little sample here. We offer these buttons, but they don't really make sense in our asset tracking, right? I mean, there's a button called users and another one called connections, but they don't make sense for us. So let's modify this. Let's set this button as blog, and you can customize the icon too. It's a really powerful tool. So I'm just gonna get a blog icon, RSS, and by default, these icons are usually orange, kind of yellowish. Now, as you can see, I customized a button and the preview adjusted quite correctly. As you can see over here, there's the home, there's the blog right there, and there is the connection button right there. Okay. The cool thing about these buttons is you can specify an action when they are clicked. Otherwise, well, there would be much point into making them, right? So here on the blog, I'm going to open an iframe whenever we click this button. So in this case, since it's a blog, I'm just gonna put the link of our blog here. I have it saved. I'm just gonna copy and paste here. Okay. Now in this other button here, connections, I'm gonna set the name as support. And the icon would be this little support icon, and the color can stay blue. It's all right. By the way, this color here is the color that will appear whenever we are inside of the button. For example, here in the Tago application, you can see that the run is purplish, but only the run because we are inside of the run platform. We are editing the run. So the same principle applies inside of your own website, okay? In this case, the support, we're gonna do something that is really cool. We're going to pop in right here a Google Forms URL. So whenever the person presses on this button, in the content, a Google Forms URL will appear. The Google Forms content, the actual page, right? You can also set the position here. This is really cool, but this really needs some, you can mess around with this because it's not really important for us right now. But just so you guys understand the essence of it, for example, the support here, it's on a new page because we set it to edit in a new page. But for example, if I uncheck this, you can see that the support went on the same line as the other buttons because it's not being added in a new line. Again, if you're having trouble or if you don't understand something, you can usually look for those squiggly lines here or for these icons that have a eye inside of them. They usually provide some explanation of what this specific resource is all about, okay? So I'm just gonna leave it like this. I think this is very good looking, very pretty. So I'm just gonna leave it like this. Now, a very powerful tool that we offer on Run are the email templates. For example, if somebody signs up to use your Run, sometimes you want to make a different email, right? You want to put some extra information into the welcome email that they will receive. And you can customize all of this by going to the section here, email templates. In this case, I can customize the welcome email. And as you can see over here, we have 3 tabs inside of the welcome email, one for each section that the user can go to. Let me explain what I just said. So for example, let's say you just registered, somebody just registered to use your application. They will receive this email right here, right? And then if they are, after they confirm their account, they will receive another email. And then if we select a custom confirmation, as I recall in the sign up page here, if we set a custom confirmation, they will receive this email. So each section throughout the sign up flow of the user, we have an email for it. Okay. It may seem a little bit confusing right now just by looking at it, but if you just try it out and see what the process is about, I'm sure you guys will understand. It's really, really easy. Okay. A cool thing is you can set a test email. So if you are setting the layout of the email and you don't want to save it and you don't want to go to your Run and sign up a new user just to test it out, you can just press here, send test email, and then this content will be sent to your inbox. So it's really easy way to test it. Moving on here, we also have an email for password recovery, the same principle as the welcome email, but this is for someone that has pressed the forgot my password button. You would send this email right here. Keep in mind, you can customize the content of the email using specific variables. If you don't want to customize your email, you just want plain text, you can also just set it as plain text. But if you want specific variables, there are a list over here in the bottom, which you can just set the name, and they will get replaced inside of your email. It's really easy, guys. No chance to miss it, okay? And as a last resource here in our Run, we have the colors. This is not really important. Well, not as important as some of other parts here in our Run, but you can basically customize the color of the buttons and the layout of the buttons and things like that. This is advanced because usually when you're creating a Run that is not very detailed, you don't mess around with this. So I'm just gonna move on here. Well, we made all the configurations necessary here in our Run. It looks really good, it looks amazing. So I'm just gonna hit save. This is a real important part because you're actually making the deploy of this application into a web server where people can actually access it. So I'm just gonna hit save over here in the bottom. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I forgot a field. Oh, I see. There's the type here, which I didn't inform on the age. So I'm just gonna set it as number, and as you can see, there's a little circle here indicating where the error happened. It's a really easy way for you to identify. And there you go, we're making the deploy of our application. And it appears that everything went smoothly. So I'm just gonna press here, click here to close, and access my Run. Okay, I'm sorry, I was already logged in before, but this is what the user will see when he first accesses the application. I'm going to pass this link into the chat, paste it here, just so you guys can also access with me to get a more good look of what the application is. And well, everything is done. It's set it up, but we don't have users, right? Because we just created the application. How could we have users? So if we go here on the users, you'll see there's no user here, right? It's empty. So I'm just gonna sign up here. Oh, I'm sorry, I think I forgot a configuration right there on the Run. You see there's no sign up button here. So I'm just going to go back to my Run. On the sign up page, I said that the sign up method was disabled. I'm so sorry. I'm just gonna put it here, anyone. So anyone can access it. I'm just gonna make the deploy of our run again. You will notice that deploy is very, very quick. So in a couple of seconds, just by pressing save my run, if I refresh the page here, there you go, the option is here. So there's really not much time wasted by deploying. So I'm just gonna go over here and press sign up. I'm gonna put my name, my last name, and my email. Password, and for the age, I'm just gonna put my age here and sign up. You'll notice that the sign up is loading, and there you go. Your account was created. Confirm your email before proceeding, and we will do that. There are two main ways to confirm the email of a user. Usually, when a user would sign up, they would head over to their email provider and then just click the link of the email. You can customize the email, just going back a little bit, just as I told you guys before. But if as the administrator of the system, you can also confirm users here. So as you can see, we pressed on the users here, and a blank page didn't show up this time. It showed a user. So we have Mateus, which is my name, and my email. We have user since a minute, and the user is not active because he didn't confirm his email. We also have the user age, which is a custom field that we created before. So I'm just gonna click this user. It's gonna load the user for me, and right here in the top right, I'm going to activate this user. Keep in mind, just going back a little bit, that if the user clicked the confirmation link in his email, the result would be the same, right? He would be able to access the run normally. So here I have my email. I'm just gonna hit sign in over here because now we are active. And there you go. We have access to our run platform, which looks pretty good. Now there are three buttons here. We have the home button, the blog button, and the support button. These buttons are the ones that we configured earlier in our run, if you guys recall it. So by clicking on the blog here, it shows up a whole new page. Now this is a very powerful tool because if you think about it, you can embed any page that is on the web inside of your application. Now, as you can see, we just put a link to the TagoIO blog, which is really cool. You could put a link to your own blog, for example. But this is the cool part. Let's say here, the support button. I put a link to a Google Forms form, and I can just put my name, put my email address, and then submit. And then the administrator would receive this email, right? Just from Google Forms, really, no integration necessary. And then he would handle the support call, right? So you can really integrate a lot of third parties, websites, and logic all together with your application, right? I'm sure you guys can think of many cool ways of doing this integration. And the truth is you can do a lot of things here. And this is amazing. We just created our website. You guys can access it. But you'll see there are no dashboards here. We are empty, right? And this is because we haven't set up the access to the dashboard. So now that we have a user, we can finally understand how access works. So here in the access, once we enter it, we have no policies. The access is divided by policies. So I'm just going to create a new one. We have two main types of user, which we have the user that are regional managers, and we have users that are local users, right? So for this specific demonstration, just for now, I'm just gonna allow everything to everyone. I know this doesn't make sense, but just so you guys understand how easy it is to mess around with policies, okay? No need to fear getting all these fields here. I know as a first impression, it may seem a little bit daunting, but don't worry. If you're feeling a little lost, just press here, this set of links here in each section, and the documentation center will pop up, and you can understand exactly what are you doing. So in this policy, I'm going to name it allow all to everything. And here we define to who or to whom we are allowing the resource. In this case, we're going to allow all the run users. We're going to allow all the run users to get access to all dashboards. So in this case, I'm going to allow my permission here as any, which means any dashboard, right? So again, I'm allowing all the run users with any field, which basically means all, to access all dashboards, because I set a dashboard access with field any, which basically means, again, any dashboard. So I'm just going to create my policy. I hit create and then apply changes. And there you go. My policy was created. And the name of my policy is allow all to everything. Of course, this is not a usual thing that customers do, that people do. But if I refresh the page here, you will see that the dashboards appeared because we created a policy that will allow everything to anyone. So this specific user, which is me in this case, has access to regional manager dashboards and to local users dashboards. This is good, but this is not enough because it doesn't make much sense. So this is where we actually organize our whole flow, okay? So let's say by default, whenever somebody signs up to use the application, they are a local user, right? But to make this classification on each user, we're going to have to mess around with tags. So for you to really customize your own run, you need to understand the concept of tags. So here in my regional manager, I'm going to click the dashboard, and then over here, I'm going to press edit dashboard. Now there's a tab here called tags. No need to fear because tags are actually called categories. They are basically categories that you insert in your dashboard, in your user to differentiate it from another one, right? So in this regional manager, I'm going to put a category on it called user level. And since this is the regional managed dashboard, I'm going to say that the category name user level is equal to regional. Makes sense? So I'm just going to create a category called user level and set the value as regional. Just going to hit save here. And there you go. You may not see it yet, but the category was successfully created. I'm just going to do the same with local user here. I'm going to head over here to edit dashboard, tags, and set the name of the tag key user level as local user. And I'm going to hit save. There you go. Now, for you to get a broad view, a bird's eye view of everything that is going on into your dashboards, you can press this button right here, which is the dashboard list. So by clicking here, you'll notice right here on the right side, there is a custom tag called local user and regional. Okay, so we made the configurations, right? So in the dashboard, there is the categories, they are all set. Now we're gonna also make we're gonna put a tag here on our user too. Same principle, I'm gonna add another tag here, user level, and I'm gonna put regional. Okay, I just saved my tag on my user, and now we can do some pretty cool stuff here on the access. So we have allow all to everything. This is not really working out for us, so I'm gonna set the run user with the tag key user level equal to regional will get access to a dashboard user level equals regional. So basically means users that have the tag regional in the user level will get access to the tag user level, which has the value regional, right? So I'm just gonna hit save here, apply my changes. There you go. And I'm gonna refresh my page. And there you go. Now you can see that this user here has access to the regional manager dashboard, and only that. You can do the same principle with a local user. So here you would say that run users with user level equals to local user would have access to dashboards that are specific to local users. Apply my changes. Okay, I think I messed up something here. I maybe didn't set right the level.
Yeah, it's not a local user. I think it's other name. Go to the dashboard, I think it's other name.
I see. Just a second.
Version, no.
Okay, just gonna enter here. User level, local user. Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't think I changed the user, right? It's original. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, so user, now we're going to change the user to local user, right? The policy was actually right. It was just me making some mistakes here. I'm so sorry. Did I say? Oh, there you go. Here, and now you see that the dashboard, the only dashboard that shows up here is the local user. So I can enter the dashboard and interact with everything here. This is basically the whole showcase. I hope you guys really understand how everything works, the inner parts. Fabio, do you have anything to add to my presentation here?
Yeah, let's see if there is any question. Anytime, feel free to make a question or comments. We're gonna take a look. Meanwhile, in the last minutes, I know that that's the introduction. There are more things. For example, you can use other types of link for the access management. For example, you can use an option called match. For example, let's say that you have users with an email, then you create dashboards with the email name on the tags. So you don't need to create one policy for each one. You basically use the match. Just show the drop down, Matthew. Yeah, you don't need to do that in details, but basically here, what you can have is a tag match. What that means that you should have the name, the same field in the user and the dashboard, so that the system automatically you match all the dashboards for that specific user. For example, if you have one policy to match, for example, by user level, for example, okay? In this case, what that means is that's not the perfect example here because you need the email inside, but what that means that everybody that join with certain user level, automatically you receive that dashboard. So that gets really very easy. The other thing is that you also can automate this user analysis. We are going to be releasing more video tutorials in the next days, so that get very easy for the team to upgrade things as they scale up. Okay, there is a question from Kyle. If there is any feature that allows book import for devices and user devices. Yes, we have the scripts to do that. What we have learned is that there are different situations to import, so that gets very high of a customization. We can share these with you with some examples. We have some online also. We're gonna show how to do that. I will basically follow up with these and send the script to that. But basically, the way to do book import is associated with a spreadsheet. One idea, of course, there are others, but like Google Sheets or Upload, and each field can be configurable the way you need. For example, if you need import devices, you can have devices UI in one column, the other column the names of the devices, and the other can be additional things like the serial number, something like that. So the script reads all the columns and automatically create the devices. The same thing for users. Also, you can invite users. So if you have new users, you can send an email. Let's say that you have this application and you want to send it to me because I am a potential customer or already a customer. You send it to me and I accepted that one, and I immediately receive that dashboard. Okay, I will share this with the person that asked it, but you can also contact us anytime for more details. Matheus, did you show anything?
Yeah, just a little bit that I want to show here. Again, we really want to focus on if you're getting lost or if you have any questions. We offer these little help icons here, but we also have our help center here. So let's say I want to figure out how to send data. This is more of a key feature on Tago here, not exactly related to Run. But if you have any doubts, you can always research our help center here. It's really easy. Also, if you want to check our other videos and webinars, you can go over to our website tago.io/videos, and we have demos, we have training, webinars, we have a bunch of very nice tutorial here for you guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, can also show the help. So you mentioned about the help, but I think it'd be good to show, for example, access management and so on, so they can understand where to get the information from. Yeah, so there are some description there, some links on the bottom, also to show how to create access, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Other thing that's important, just remind that when you have the free account, you can have a preview of your run, like this one in the screen, but that's not applied to your solution, okay? Just have this in mind, because in this account here that we are using, this example, is a solution that already use the white label option, okay? So before you enable the add-on, you may want to see how it looks like. You can do it, but when you generate the application, it's not going to apply the colors to your final solution, okay? So if you need any support and need a trial, just contact us.
Yeah, you can open an issue, a ticket for us here by clicking on this top right button and then support, right? Then a new page will open and you can specify exactly what kind of problem you are having or any questions, any suggestions. So feel free to contact us. It's really easy.
Yes. Yeah, and the other thing is the same if you want to use your own URL, right? As Matteo showed here, he showed the example where Acme is under run.tago.io, right? So it's under our server. Let's say that you don't want that. You want acme.portal.com. It's possible to do that. There is a button there on the bottom side. Want to customize your solution, basically that's going to open a ticket, then you go step by step. That's a very easy process. We are going to automate this in the future, but right now it just needed to send this contact to us. So we prepare the package and it be in a couple of hours, you'll be up and running under your customized URL.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We have a question here from Cyril Fernandez. Imagine I have an IoT solution for engine monitoring within an industry. Would you like to know if it's possible for me to upload the industry floor plan to position the engine location in the industry? Fabio, do you know the answer to that?
No, I don't have this question here. I don't see it.
Oh, I see. Maybe it was just me here.
I think so. I don't see it all here.
Yeah. So actually, from my perspective here, from what I could understand, you can actually do that. We have a couple of widgets here. I'm just gonna open the widget visualization so you can get a glimpse of all the widgets that we have. If you don't know the terms, widget is basically a little box here that goes inside of the dashboard. So we have a bunch of them. We also have one called image marker, in which you can put an image and put a lot of pins, multiple pins into the image. So you could, yes, put the plan, the blueprint of the floor into the image and then just put a bunch of pins and to really make some categories inside of the image. So if what you're describing is exactly what I could understand, it's possible, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, just a reminder that about the widget question, the other thing, also have other videos, other tutorials, and you're going to be releasing more in the next days.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, any other question?
I think that's all. Thank you, Fabio.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We'll be closing the webinar today. Thank you very much. Have a good day.
Thank you, everybody.